that I deliver. I mean, why wouldn't we give a token of appreciation? Like I said, I don't care if it's $1, $5, $10. I'ma still ship you one of my books. People that know me, I've authored almost 20 books. My Divine Creed of Moorish Islam, I've been having a problem, Empress, with my PDF sending that book. She's gonna get that one correct. But I'm like, what's wrong with us supporting our brothers? What's wrong with it? Because one of the Moors on here, I support brothers. I mean, this piece of jewelry is so beautiful. See, I support brothers. Like, see, there ain't nothing cheap about me. Like I said, I tell Moors, if we're conscious and we so-called woke, well, we should be woke with everything. See, I don't go to certain places and buy things. I try to deal with people that have pieces of art. Everything that I make comes from the heart. That's like when your mama cooked y'all dinner. She cooked you dinner from the heart, from love. It gotta mean a little bit more. And if we're not understanding getting with a real organization that can teach our nationality, our spirituality, and our education, and also finances, because we need finances. That's why our prophet taught a beggar nation cannot save itself. I hope we understand whatever catchphrase that you want to use. We have to understand the dynamics of business and group economics. Once we understand who we are, our nationality and spirituality, then it must come some finances with it under the right auspices. And if you don't understand that, I'm not for you. Because this is what I tell people. I'm not a common laborer. I'm a Buddha. I'm an adept. I don't want to have no more how can I say it, negative understandings or negative influence from the outside if we're going to operate. That's why I said February 9th, I love everybody, but I'm not for everyone that do not want to be a student. If you don't want to be a student, that is great. That's understandable. Maybe you're not on that level yet. That's fine. But every quarter, as you start to see the difference from the clean glass and the dirty glass, maybe the spirit of Allah that's inside, that you will see that your kids is not learning nothing. And maybe you're not learning nothing. And you'll see everybody operating in their lower self. And then hopefully that you will want to be part of a body. That's what this is about. And I'm not going to deprive the people from ministry because I'm a divine minister. More science is not illegal. More science is no hate. And I think Moors are confused with the logistics of more science. We have to be if everybody's saying who this and saying that. And I'm like, well, law is law and science is science. And if we're operating on principles and essence, it shouldn't be any misunderstanding. So I just wanted to get that clear, Moors. We have to draw a line in the sand right now because life is precious and life is a gift and nothing is guaranteed. If we say we serious about who we are, our nationality and our spirituality, and if we say who we are and everything is connected to law and connected in history and education and finances, well, my God, why are we not producing that from within? You have to tell me. And we have all these brothers that saying they're scholars and this and that and the other, and not understanding the real dynamics of nonprofit status, not understanding it, understanding it, whatever you want to say, because you're not operating in that atmosphere. So if you're looking or talking about someone on the outside, talking in, that's a hypocrite. Because you're on the earth plane, and then when I tell people about use your brain and start asking yourself some logical questions, hear a person say, this is this, and this is that. And I say, where you work? Oh, I got a job. And I'll be like, so what are you talking about? So everything that you're saying should be eliminated out of your vocabulary. Because all that tie against what? Government. All of it tie against. You going to buy clothes from the store? Government. You going to the movies? Government. You going to buy cereal? You going to buy a candy bar? A burger? Government, 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 government. So I don't understand what we're talking about. You live in a community? Government. I mean, so just be honest with people. That's what this is about. Because we were a lost people. Our prophet brought something back to us. Nothing is new under the sun. We got to stop saying people, they hid something. Nothing is hidden. If it's hidden, how my library is full of stuff that's way older than me and you? How can it be? How can it be? And that's why I said we're not on a level collectively, because we don't support what's righteous. We want to like things. We want to follow. And I say, well, I'm not here for likes and follow. I created a body of thought. I created a school that teach Moorish history, that teach real history, that teach real economics, that teach real civics, that teach real love, that teach real unity. And as we go on the next level, we teach the Gnostic texts. the Gnostic scriptures, so we won't be confused. That's the triple rule of the adapt chamber. That's how you rise above. That's when you connect what? 720. When you understand that 360 is just the material, 360 is just the sum total of material wisdom. And 720 is the total sum of both material and spiritual wisdom or knowledge. Why do we say that in our adapt science? Because we must master our higher self. And in our Kemetic science, we control the pendulum. The pendulum swings the same way to the left as it does to the right. Why? Because we are the pendulum. We are the source. And as you start controlling, operating in your higher self, your pendulum never has to go outside of yourself. These are the dynamics of the teaching. These are the dynamics of being a part of a body. Moors be getting so caught up when someone say a body politic, and this is my lane. I said, Moors, you have no understanding of what a body and what land and what we're talking about. If you were counted as 3/5 in one part of history as cattle, which is chattel, 3/5, then what are we talking about? And then another one, person, place, and thing, ownership. You are. That's why you want to be a complete fifth, because the vast estate is you. You're getting caught up in catchphrase. You're getting caught up in a connotation of words, and no one is explaining the duality, especially in the right atmosphere of words and phrases. We have to be correct on everything. We have to be, Moors. If not, then you can't defend yourself or no one else. We got to be clear on things, man, and we got to be willing to be a part of something, because the laws protect us, Moors. We have the right to come together. We have a right of a nationality. We have a right to pray to our deities. If you understand the laws, if you can break the laws down, if you can speak them verbatimly, if you can say, for the record, Your Honor, the laws protect you. Why? We must defend what? The Constitution. The Constitution must be defended. The laws work. We don't operate outside of the law. If you think you operate outside of the law, you might as well cut off from me, because that's not what I teach. One, you must understand in more science, what our prophet made clearly is that God and man is absolutely one. That God and man is absolutely one. And in more science, we don't think of no deity per se outside of ourselves. If we do, that's true shirk. We don't believe in no Islam. We don't believe in no European Christianity, no other Christianity, no Negro Christianity. We don't believe in no Prince Hall Masonry per se, or no other cultism to where it's some God over you, and that's God or somebody over you per se. And that's a fact across the board. And if we don't understand that, we have a definite problem. We have a definite problem. And we must admit that we don't know the higher degrees. Because if you did know the higher degrees, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. And that's why I say we must be taught systematically and through a system. Why? So we can operate synchronized, so the body can come together as one. This is what the teachings do. The teachings is valid, but people are not defending it, the proper manifestation. Don't you know, if everybody was doing things the right way, everything could be a better place. But that's the difference from a clean glass and a dirty glass. The clean glass give you something to compare to. The clean glass say, okay, now we know about this, and we done so-called made our marking on the sand. Now, what side are you on? Now let's build. That's where we should be now. And if we're not there, man, we have a definite problem. Our understanding should be, our twinkers should be so in tune now to where we in this for life. And this is what we want to teach our babies and our empresses. Because if it's not, what is it about? If it's not coming together under one auspices, that's legit, and we can all be one body in many parts. What is this all about, Moors? Because I always want to talk to us before I get into the message. I have to speak from the heart. I'm a divine minister, man. Like that's what make us a complete fifth. Islam for the donation, Noble. That's what make us a complete fifth, man. Don't get it twisted. Do not let anyone get it twisted to you. To make you a complete five or a fifth is your nationality and your spirituality or your religion, because your religion falls under your spirituality. I hope we understand these synchronicities. We have to understand this. You cannot be a complete fifth, talk about, oh, I just deal with civics. Well, you ain't teaching no more science, because you can't teach one without the other. You can't. You cannot. And we have to understand this. And then we have to come to a point to where we say, this is where we are. And then we have to draw people in. See, these are the analogies. We have to draw people in. Why? Because we are disciples. Disciples of what? This is what we are. Once we figure out who we are, we should be in this for life. This is something that's for life with me. That's why I do temperature checks with people. I know who in this and what they're in it for. That's why I write everybody's name down. And when things get to popping, I have a list. And I check and I'm like, oh, I see what they're here for. A person will come here, won't even introduce themselves and be like, hey, Islam Noble, I like what's going on. Here go a donation because I'm here every week. Every time you're here, I'm here every week. You have literature? Absolutely. You can get all your books and literature from me. I tell Morris, I'm a real organization. Nonprofit organization, legally. These are things that we don't understand. I'm like, other places are winning because they're using the laws and they're using the religious laws to what? To build, to donate to their organization, to get grants, to get loans, to donate tax exempt, to do things the right way. If we say we care about who we are and our people, man, people will move, man, the other communities. And the only why I'm talking about other communities, because I'm using it as an example. They move to where they're a divine minister or whatever catchphrase you want to call it. Why? Because they say we're grown and we're in our profession. This is where we need to be. And they build from within. We got the same right. When I tell Morris, I'm like, I hear what we're talking about, but what are we going to do? And see, when we just following people and we giving donation, I'm like, okay, but what is this about? Like, is that platform just to pay somebody's way, or are we going to be a part of a real temple and a real school where we can operate as a body and we can be under these auspices and we can say, hey man, not only this, we teaching our babies this. We got to take our place back. When you talk about the old time religion, studying our divine fig tree, what are we talking about, Morris? This is what I be asking people. I'm like, what holy books? Because I can tell you where all that stuff come from. So what are we dissing? We haven't even thought about that. So that's why we should be, once we, how can I say, court something and make sure it's right. And then we remove our lower self or our feelings because we looking for some God per se. And every holy book says God worked through man. Why? Because we made in his image. But it's this particular that's able to be that divine vessel or a map. That's all in the flesh. How can we say we love God and we never seen, but we hate man and we see every day? And God and Allah and Buddha, whatever you want to connotate it, works through man. How? And we understand that a prophet come in the voice of the people. Why? So you won't be confused with the language or the message or the delivery that he's trying to deliver. If he's coming with a different language, then we must understand that the first thing we got to do is understand the words that is coming out that, how can I say, Messiah's mouth per se. And if he's coming with a different language, that means that particular person is a linguistic. So if you don't understand the language and I'm coming to try to teach you something and how to pray in a different language, the first thing I'm doing is stripping you from your language. And see, we're not even understanding this when I tell people, oh, I speak these different languages. And I say, that's absolutely great. Islam to you. But does that have to do with anything with your righteousness or you being honorable and noble? Absolutely not. So don't get that twisted. Don't get that twisted. So let's jump into this, man. And like I said, February 9th, classes are getting ready to get started. I tell nobles, if you miss the deadline, I mean, it is what it is. And because no teachings will be online, no teachings will be on Instagram, all that's going to stop. All I'm going to do is still be giving my divine messages because I'm a divine minister to a lot of family members and I record it and send it to them. And when I come on here, all I ask people is send a donation in. That's it. A simple donation. That's all we ask from the heart. How much? I didn't say how much. I said a donation from the heart. You can send a donation whatever you want. That's why I said I'm legit. That's why I said you send a donation is I give you something. I put something in your hand. What? Literature. Things that you can read. Literature for you can understand, for you can start meditating on, so you can start changing within, so your family can change. These teachings are for the whole family. We can't say we Moors, we can't say we nobles and our whole family is not changing. And that's one of the main issues. So let's dig, man. I hope y'all got y'all papers, because this is going to be real quick. May the benefit of Allah be upon us, and we all should strive to be a credit to Allah. When I say Allah, I want us to all know, in more science, I'm talking about arm, leg, arm, head. In more science, I'm not talking about anything out myself. And I have to be clear. I have to be matter-factual because a lot of people really, really believe that when we say Islam in more science, we're praying to some other deity outside ourselves. And if you think that, I got to ask you, how can you even come up with that And in more science, God and man is one. That's so hard. You know? Islam, noble. Islam for the kind words. And that's all I'll be saying, man. It's like, it's almost, we get to the point to where we will support other things that have no meaning. And I say, man, if you like with $5 is grateful to me. One of my brothers and students on here, Brother James Bay. When I said James, I say everybody talk about things, and I'm not talking about nobody particular. So let's just keep our lower self in check. When I say we can do anything, when I said James, the $250 enrollment fee is a one time. I said that's only $5 for 55 days. Brother James was like, Islam, noble. He was like, yeah. He was like, you already know. Boom. In 55 days, that's the $250. Then I broke it down again. I said, a noble was like, well, $100, this, but I'm looking on your page and you popping, but no disrespect. And I'm like, well, $5 a day for 20 days equals 100. And so when we break things down, I say, if we're serious about this and we want our babies to know history and have literature and science, well, my God, this is, I really believe this is a product that's very, very, how can I say it? Not taxing to us if we say we want to do something. Because this is something that we can do, man. You don't have to physically be here. You don't have to physically be in Arizona. That's why I said, when you go to college online, when these preachers and things, they have satellite churches. We structured the same way. We're just not there yet. And then the great God of Allah is going to take us there. Why? Because it's the people that dictate everything, Morris. Don't we understand that? It's the people that dictate everything. Who? Us. We want to have some big, who going to pay for it? We are. Why? Because we are body politic under the religious laws. This is what I try to say, man, we ain't no, how can I say it? No common Moors. We ain't no common Moors. If you a common Moor, I ain't for you. If you're a person that on my page that don't want to contribute a simple donation to the movement, I'm not for you. I'm not here for likes. I'm not here for people want to debate. I don't have no time to debate nobody that should be a student. And that's not ego. These are just facts. But if we don't understand about building and understand about growth and understand about finances, we definitely need to be educated on these things. That's why we're losing as a group, as a body, because we don't know the laws protect us. We don't know the religious laws. We're just listening to somebody. We don't understand the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment. We don't understand about proclaiming, declaring, and have due process. We don't understand that this is the best time in the world for you to be a Moorish American when the census come out. But I know we're not confident enough to do what's right. And the more they can say what they will do, that's what everybody is do. But when the lights get on you and when the lights cut off, will you do what you supposed to do? Sometimes no, and the majority will not. But we're not even going to operate on them lower vibrations. We just set in the atmosphere. But what I'm saying about proclaiming, declaring, and have due process, you got to understand these laws so much that where you're like, oh, I absolutely get it. And if we don't understand that, then that's why I say we must be students, especially about this scientific aspect of this Moorish science and what it's all about. We don't diss anything. We respect and obey all the laws and the prophets, Jesus, Buddha, Confucius, Muhammad. But if you a scholar and a student of things, you understand there's never was a J in the Hebrew dialect. You got to understand that our prophet Noble Drew Ali took things to a certain point. You got to understand the etymology and what words mean. Jesus means justice when we break things down in a particular fashion. So it's certain things that we must be correct on and not be mad as students of this science. Students of this science, because you have more science and then you have law. Come on, man. We got to understand this science. If you understand the Gnostic teachings, well, what's in our Moorish Quran? What's in the Moorish Quran? I think it's chapter 11, verse 43, about this Hebrew God. You preach some catfish too. This Hebrew God is the deity of Allah. What's in our little red book, the Silent of the Brotherhood of the East? Most Moors don't even know. What's some in our ayats when our prophet clearly stated that children, your hair is not kinky, it's woolly like your brother Jesus. What about, I tell you, a lot of people only going to take you so far. They're not going to take you to the higher that wisdom when they start giving you language, when I start showing you my metaphysical aspect, what I grew up in IDMR. And that's a higher science. When I start connecting man to God, when I start showing you man made in the image of Elohim, when I start breaking down everything that they took outside is breaking down your body. From the tabernacle built without hands, I'm going to take everything and put it in the body, you know? And I'm going to show you exactly, Brother James, and I'm going to show you how we just been connotated when we think, when somebody's talking about death. All the death is the lower self, and you control that. Words have duality. And that's why I said when we rise above, when we become the alchemist, when we control it, when I tell you, just like in alchemy, when I talk about the so-called Baphomet with the cold volta on the hands, when you think a part of you got to change, no, you are the alchemist. All you do is control it. You have everything inside. When we talk about your chakras or your kundalini, do you have to go outside for your chakras and your kundalini? No. What you must do, activate them. You must know how to activate them. It's not just wearing a necklace with the chakras or the chakra colors. How do you activate it? How do you rise above? Because it's all about attitude and persona and what we think. How we look at ourselves, how we view ourselves, how we view our brothers and our sisters. How if you have a divine message, I love our brothers and sisters so much where I'm going to educate us from an educational standpoint so we can rise above historically, educationally, religious, politically, financially. And if you ain't rocking with that, but remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that we all might nourish the souls of all men. Let the truth be thy shield in the manifest battles of falsehood. One of my nobles like, all right, you can donate Cash App, $KG Bay. I tell Morris, donate $10, then inbox me your name. I'll PDF you one of my books. One noble PDF me $20. He was like, Noble. He was like, you sent me all these books. He was like, he was like, man, I feel whack. If I only sent you $20 and you sent me, I said, Noble. Look, I'm the author. I love you. You got a family. I want you to have this literature. That's why I'm a nonprofit organization. That's why when I teach things, I say, look, I am the product. We structure ourselves in a fashion that the laws protect us. I keep telling you, we are, what are we? Educational, religious, scientific, charitable. All that. We fall under that. Don't y'all know what that means? We have the right to do what? Educate ourselves. Where? On all platforms. And the state rock with us. When I show more about how it's grant money for that sitting right there. Once you operating right, once you a real body and you have people set up the right way in your body, you know, when I have physical people more out here and they say, oh, we rocking and rolling. Why? We got a grant writer, here go our governor, here go our sheikhs, here go our, how can we say it? Our brother that study law, our legal service that have our best interests, that give us, that got precedented history. We got our college division where we steering our young children the right way, where we grooming them. This is a body, man, where we have a storehouse, where we have finances. Man, y'all don't hear me, man. This ain't just nothing for me, man. This is, I take this serious. Know that we not need to pick the lock or the gate to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft mores. For behold, the key to salvation already rests within our own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, mores, instability, inconsistency, there is still a greater portion of our nature that is divine. May Allah, may Buddha, may Confucius, may Yahweh, may whatever name you give him glory. It's no problem with that. Moore's got to understand that. If you are Moore and you study in Moore science, you have to understand whatever catchphrase. You got to know that it's no problem with what name that you give it glory to. If you understand this science, you have to understand that. If you don't understand that, you are operating on religious connotated dogma, and you know that. You should know that, because this is more science. We don't diss anything. Our Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. It's just what it is, Moors. We have to be operating right so a person can see the difference from what we're doing. And if a person asks, a person should be able to ask you about this science and what we're doing. There's nothing wrong with that. Right, Morris? So, Empress, can you get me that laptop? You got to unplug it, don't you? Yeah. You got to unplug it. All right. I'm going to get on something. That's why she's getting this set up for me. Yeah, but you know when you unplug it, then you got to cut it back on. But in class, man, Morris, I'm gonna break so much down about the Quran eloquently, and I know a lot of my brother members, brother James, hit me up, had me laughing. He was like, "No, man, I had to go through the books." I was laughing so hard, man. I didn't even know how to respond to you, James. But hey, that's great. And I watch how we come up together and watch how we study together, synchronized, and we're gonna remove all the doubt. All the confusion. You can sit it right here, up here, babe. You know, for we can know what we operating right. Because I know Morris is not studying that Quran, and I know we're not understanding, whatever you want to talk about, the holy breath, what it means, supreme intelligence. When I'm telling Morris, this ain't no Morris goofball stuff. This ain't nobody talk about they put on the feds and they some scholar and they study law. No, man, you better know how to defend yourself. Because you fraudulent concealing things. So that's what we're going to do, man. And I just want us to operate totally righteous to where we shine so bright to where it is what it is. We synchronize so much stuff, man, about how I show Moors how books synchronize. And then you let somebody in their lower self tell you absolutely the wrong thing. Just like in the King James Version, John 1 and 3, all things were made by him. And without him was not anything made that was made. John 15 and 1. I am the true vine, and the Father is the husbandman. Holy Quran, chapter 2, section 3, verse 21. O men, serve your Lord, who created you and those before you, so that you may guard against evil. I hope y'all synchronizing this. Holy Quran, chapter 1. In the name of Allah, the benefit, the merciful. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. I mean, are y'all seeing the synchronicity? King James Version, John 4 and 24. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in the spirit and in truth. John 6:46. Not that any man that seen the Father say he which is of God. He have seen the Father. So-called Jesus has seen the Father. Holy Quran, chapter 8, verse 7. Allah's meeting place with man is where? In the heart. And in a still small voice, he speaks. And he who hears still ill. King James Version of Scripture, 12 and 34. For where your treasures is, there will your heart be also. Holy Quran, chapter 7, verse 1. In silent meditation, verse 23. That is the heart, the richest gems abound, that he who wills may open the door and find them all. Are y'all following this? What we're talking about when a person is saying something and I'm like, I don't really think they have the right message, not only for you, but for your babies. Because they're putting other figures, they're giving you a westernized perspective or a Negropean perspective, and that's stripping you from who you are off the top. And we're not even catching the falseness. What's falseness? The pseudo-academia, the westernized perspective, the joining all these groups outside of yourself. And you don't have to be nothing. The burying of you in a shallow grave. Also with our Eastern stars. You are the Eastern star, my empresses. You've been buried. That's why others wear your white feather with the gold tassel. The DAR, the Daughters of the American Revolution. Just like in Masonry, it's the same thing. It's what it is. Most Moors don't even know the meaning of why we even wear the turban. That's why I said Moors wear the turban. And like I said, a lot of the things we wear, yes, we're supposed to wear things because that's who we are. But if you're wearing something and you don't know, that is the problem. That is the problem. Because wearing our fez and our turbans is just a part of it. It's a part of it. We're supposed to be a covenant. That's why we have all these technology. We have the internet. It's no reason. Once you find the right one, if you're not in the area, you're supposed to be covenant. It's a reason for you to know. It's a reason for you to operate the right way. We're supposed to know this. If we study in more science, and I just wanted, like I said, when school starts, you're going to get all the synchronizing. We're going to come up together. I'm going to use the analogy like a baby. I'm going to take my teeth out and we're going to come up on the breast together the way we should, in unison, guided the right way. It's no good if I give you a compass and put you in the middle of the jungle and tell you to make it to where the water streams northeast, and you don't know how to read that compass. It would be a disfact for me to give you that and not teach you how to read the compass. Right? Islam Moors? Islam Moors? Islam Moors, y'all better talk to me, especially my empresses on here, because I told y'all, if my empress said if I can clone myself, she will allow me to give myself away for the right price. Y'all know I'm going to have fun, y'all, because that's what I do. But I'm very, very serious. What do I tell Moors? What is fallen humanity when in the science, Moors? And we're gonna break simple stuff down. What is fallen humanity in our teachings? Thank you, babe. What is fallen humanity in our teachings, Moors? Or who is fallen humanity in our teachings? Let's talk some sense into each other. What is fallen humanity and who is fallen humanity in our teachings, Moors? So we're gonna jump right into this. Right? Somebody talk to me. What is fallen? Who is fallen humanity? We got when I talk about the great meeting. What's the great meeting, y'all? What's the great meeting? Somebody talk to me, because it's two. That's right. And the uniting of Asia, all of us coming together. One nationality with many cultures. I show y'all all over the chosen when I talk about the uniting of Asia, when I talk about the 18th dynasty of the Moorish Israelite. We have to connect it when I talk about the spiritual or the magical workers, were the so-called black men that wore the turbans that signified what? The magical East. What? The silent brotherhood. I keep telling Moors. We were the ones that were going around correcting the teachings, because the teachings all goes back to who you are. The story had just been told. The copy has copied you. No disrespect. I'm coming from scholarship. I done been through the fire. Fallen humanity. Iron women. Fallen humanity. The Asiatic woman. I didn't say Asian. The Asiatic woman. I'm gonna do a whole teaching on that, because when I say specifics, when people say Asia, and I say Asiatic. And I'm going to teach what Asiatic mean. I'm going to teach how we've been connotated. I'm going to teach you how we've been arbitrarily, connotated with linguistic apartheid, when they use certain words and they use them in a fashion to where they're connotated, but they try to throw them at you as denotations and only one explanation. And it takes linguistic study with a fine toothpick to start digging through the mess to pull out the 5% truth. The rest of it is poison, like rat poison. That's why a rat go to the food. He ain't going just for all poison. It's a little bit of something in there, right, babe? Right. For they to go to it. Just like when Morris be going to get them Burger Kings and them Impossible Burgers and them Taco Bells. It's poison, but it's so good. But we know better, but we do it anyway. So that's when I talk about self-inflicting wounds. What? When we're not looking at ourselves in a higher perspective. When we're not looking at our empresses and our brothers like, look, man, we can come together. We need to be around each other. And we got the same rights and laws that everybody else can do. What are we complaining about? Why are we talking about what somebody else should be spending? What are we doing? This is what we should be doing. Why? Under these auspices. Build. The Asiatic woman, man. That's fallen humanity. That's fallen humanity. That's fallen humanity, Moors. I hope we know that. That's fallen humanity. I'm going to start this one off with the woman. And then I'm going to do the Holy of Holies. And then we're going to be done. And it's going to be the last. Like I said, this is going to be the last. Well, it's not going to be the last. But I'm always going to do Sunday messages because I'm a divine minister online for the people. But I write people names down. And if a person come on here 3 times and they don't want to give a contribution to what was going on, I love everybody. But I have to stop because this is what we're doing. We're doing a solid for the people. You send a donation, you get pieces of literature. And I guarantee the literature I'm going to give you is going to be something that you probably thought you knew and you didn't know. And I'm going to give you something to compare to, especially with books. I have a whole library. Like I tell Morris, like I tell Brother James, I said, you don't have to get no book from no other platform. If you understand what we are, if you understand the laws that we're protected by, if you understand what we are, why would you want to go outside your own family to get anything? And we have it. And we're structured the right way. Think about it. Think about this. Think about this. There's no reason. And that's why I tell Moors, every Moor that's under our teachers, under my auspices, you're going to get everything systematically. That's going to give you all the lower level, everything. From all the history books to the science to everything in our civics, for you can know matter factual. Not with nobody telling you. We're going to have sound counsel. When my dad used to always tell me, who counseling you? Who you speaking to? Or you think you know something because you got a fez on? Or you operating by yourself? You ain't part of nobody. You astray. That's just like, for instance, we in the wild and we some wild silverback gorillas, and we all family. And just because you a silverback gorilla, say you might got lost from your family, and you come amongst us, you better hope we might accept you. You got to rock with what we rocking with. Because if we believe this way and you believe like this, and you eating all this bullcrap food, we eating fruits and vegetables, Mother Earth, we come smell that death on you. Hey, we might have to get that pollution out of here. Because you ain't following the laws. You see this, and this analogy my dad was saying yesterday, when we don't follow our own laws. Like for instance, we go somewhere and he was using the analogy, and this area is polluted, and the spirit knows, and it tells you that we need to get rid of everything because what we're under. And you see, say, a big calf or a big buffalo, you like, man, this buffalo big, man. We can eat for months, and you know that Allah done told you to burn everything because everything about them is polluted. Look what they eat, and you take that amongst your people, and you take that poison and you spread it amongst your family. Are you following the psyche? Y'all ain't listening to me. Y'all ain't listening to me. That's why I say light gives light to understanding. Light gives light to understanding, Moors. Oh, this is going to be good. That's why I said this is the ministry that our babies need. The only motivation, speaking, that our babies need and our people need is who we are, spiritually, history, financially. And we can rock and roll. And we can ride this till the wheels fall off. We have always heard people say that, shine your light. But we don't understand what it means. What light really is. And light is the natural agent that stimulates sight and makes things visible. So whenever you shine your light, Moors, you are speaking, Moors, something from an agent, which is your heart, that directs your mind in saying something about your mouth to make some things visible to whoever you are shining light upon. That's when I tell people about alcohol. And I'm like, alcohol ain't nothing. It's the vessel. Yes, it's spirits and it's age. And then you get a preacher, or you get somebody with that slick stuff, no disrespect to no one. And they say, and they tell you the money is the root to all evil. And I say, contraire, mon frère. I say, contraire, mon frère. If the vessel right, money is great. Why? Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 19. I tell Moors, that should be one of your favorite scriptures. Because when we come together and we do things the right way, the finances is good. Why? Because we can teach, we can educate, we can build, we can have our own. So we don't have to go outside and be educated by somebody that we know premeditated to come to lie to us. A scam is a scam. I don't care if it's religiously selling us something, being in unfaithful relationships, not being honest, not looking at your empresses like, look, baby, you single, let's build. Let's come out here and build with your family. We more science. We're supposed to be building families together. This ain't no Moorish pimp game. This not that. This ain't no Moorish Islam where we want to say we want a whole bunch of wives. You can't even take care of one. Stop playing with me. But light also gives motion. And wisdom is something that is very identical to light. Right? Why does it say, why I say this? Because if you or if I has a mind that is dark, dark meaning that if the mind is dark, it's without motion. And when you speak wisdom to that mind, it starts to what? Create light within that person, which will bring what? Motion into his or her what? Into his or her what? Mind. Light gives light to understanding. And in order for you and me to have understanding, we will have to have knowledge to understand, right? We will have to have knowledge to understand the understanding itself. You see? We're talking about we know something, but what do we know? If we are traveling on our journey, which can be life, which can be our spiritual journey. When I tell people the experience, when I minister people, when people may be in a dark place in life, and I always love one of my messages I give people about scars, scabs, and wounds. I said a lot of stuff we go through in life, hey, it's healed. It's healed. You can't bleed from that no more. You can't touch that and be like, ow, ow, ow. The scab has covered that. We got to proceed. So therefore, we don't do the same thing over and over in life. We don't keep getting in messed up relationships. We got to figure out who we are so much and get part of something so good to where we ain't operating like that. We operate like a horse with blinders on. We ain't letting no goofball man or no woman come in our life just because he done said something or she done said something good. We don't operate like that. Why? Because we done did that. We should know that. We know game. We know if we turn left right here, it's been danger, danger every time you turn left. But you're going to turn left every time to danger, danger, danger. Every time. And you know it's danger. You know that road you go down is danger. Why would you keep putting yourself in that self-inflicted bullet wound? You steady popping yourself. You steady shooting yourself. And you got so many bullet wounds in you. When it's time to rock with you, nobody want to rock with you. You got so many baggage because we self-inflicting ourselves. I'm telling you. On false things and not putting ourselves on a higher platform. The only motivation we need is to understand who we are. And understand finance, and understand about family and building, and understanding what our empresses really represent. That's what this is about, man, with me. I'm talking about me. You could be walking in darkness and be all right with it. But when you start to put light in your travels, it helps you understand the road much better. Because in the darkness, Moors, you are traveling, but you don't know where you are traveling. When Moors be like, oh, I'm going somewhere. I say, yeah, you might, but you probably going in circles. Oh, it ain't hurt me. Well, it ain't doing you no good either, because you're just going to teach the same thing to your babies. What? Nothing. And when the sports don't play out, it'd be an issue. I keep telling y'all, man, I got so many lesson plans when we come together as family, when we created. When the Moors really come together and we do our 1 year meeting, and when I do our whole summer teaching on the conspiracy to destroy, I call it Moors Boys and Girls, with stuff that was written a long time ago, and I'm gonna bring that back to us because this starts with education. This Moor science is education, and if you don't understand that, but we speaking without thinking is dangerous. But when you have light in your mind, we have to understand that we will not just be saying something just to be saying it. We will get permission from that agent, which is our heart, before we say it. And this would be an example of us shining our light. If you say you some adept, if you say you understanding things, if not, you operate in your lower self, your own religious connotated dogma, and you can't spread that. So in our travel, or when you and I travel, what we do, we are builders with the wisdom meaning light, in which light also travels at the rate of 186,000 miles per second. So if we become the light, then the time is finished, right? And that will be the rate of our speed within our journey. That's why I tell you, I'm your brother. I'm here to love on you because I know what love means. I know love is an action word, but I ain't here to play with you. If you want to keep walking in blindness, I got to step away from that ignorant stuff. I got to step away from all foolishness. I have to. I don't got time for that foolishness. We done been there already. This ain't no Moors debate. This ain't none of that. Ain't no more for to get me caught up. Can't no more give me no dollars to do nothing goofy. I can't be bought on no platform. We good over here. That's why we teaching, and I'm giving something for people can believe in. A clean glass. I'm your brother. I'm your brother. And when I finish with this, all our Moors brothers and sisters, all our Moors babies, all of us will be once again the master of the builders, as we once were in civilization. Don't you know emotion is energy? Religion uses that energy to devour us by making us use direct that energy or that force toward a pulpit where oppression strains over your emotions. And the battlefield is to be fought in the dreamland, because when those of us with melanin, per se, or with souls, when we sleep, we go into our true selves. And the real world is embedded inside us. And everything outside of us is an illusion. That's why I tell Moors, the laws, it frees you. That's why I'll be telling Morris, when school start, man, you're going to miss me when I'm gone. Because I would miss this too, this synchronized teaching. All I have to do is be part of something that's real. But what is the woman? Who is the woman? The woman is a very distinct power within this universe. And as a matter of fact, Morris, the universe and the woman both have something in common that man does not have. See, they both nurture the creation and the life within themselves. Y'all following me? They both give life and have everything in them to nurture the life that they produce without having to depend on anything outside of themselves. The woman is a very distinct figure with a source of power that ignites the strength of a man, especially of a Moorish man. Even though both were created for one another and we both complement one another, it is something that the woman carries mentally, morally, and spiritually that man can only attain through stages where we as males, where we have to keep falling in order to see and accept most of the things that the woman already has knowledge of when she enters into God's universe. Y'all ain't following me, man. What our prophet have in his hand is for all of humanity. Y'all ain't listening to me when I say these Moors be out of pocket. If you can't see love exhuming on a person, and they can't, and especially if you was an empress, and when you walk around and you come with a noble like myself, and I'm not just tooting my horn, I got to talk about what things happen, and people don't feel love when you come around. They don't feel your vibration. Something is wrong. Especially when you talking matter factually, because see, I ain't nice. I don't have to be nice. I just have to be honorable, noble, definitely not humble. What's humble? Walking with your head down, walking like this? No, you must be righteous. And only Negro, blacks, and color get you be humble. What you mean be humble? No, you must be sure of yourself. In every other arena, I'm sure. Talk about something humble. Nah, man. You better be sure and right and honest and just. You must be a noble. That's where it stops with me. What I'm saying is, Moors, that the woman comes into the world fully developed, with a mind that is wise, with the tools to build the man in a way that he cannot build himself. Oh, we done came out of it. You think you don't want to keep going back into it? Man, you got to be crazy, Moorish men. We supposed to put our women on a standard so high that somebody dare to come disrespectfully when they see you in the atmosphere. When you see our empresses, every door, you should run to open the door when you see one of your empresses. And you should be willing to talk to them from love. You should be willing to mentor them babies, because that's what this is about. If we care, if you're going to teach, we building them, we bringing them to the storehouse. We bringing them here. These are teaching. This is what our brother teaching. If you say you about this, if you ain't about this, then I'm going to shake your hand in love. But every time you see me, this is how I'm operating. You're going to be like, it's something so different about him. Why? Because he operating in love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, and my 2 cents, health, and wealth. I love me and you so much, I'm willing to stop and talk to you and build you up, encourage you to be part of something that's real. That's what I'm here for. I don't have no time for no more talk about what nobody else doing. We done with that. We talking about what we doing. And if you ain't rocking with me, then I don't have nothing for you. I ain't answering no questions. Keep rocking with what you're doing. But in order for her to build the man, we have to provide for her something of a spiritual or a mental and a moral respect that will get us to the stages of knowing the true purpose. Man, y'all ain't hearing me, man. Empress, I don't know what's going on with this laptop, you know.
Oh, I didn't even know I went outside. I was locked her out. What happened?
I don't know what this doing. That's why I got to take us to the door.
What you mean?
How that's why looking like that. Of how to, I got to take all us Moors to the door. But how to do it, Moors, we must be willing to walk. When I be telling Moors, when you hear somebody talk about they done went through some adapt chamber and all this, and it's like some secret. I said, that's masonry. If I'm your brother and I got the keys to follow humanity, what do I say in all my benediction? If I say this is sacred, not secret, and I got the keys, I'm going to give the keys to the ones that want it. It's a gift, but you're going to have to be, it's going to be some dedication that comes with it. Because I don't have time to be playing with nobody. having all these recognitions in our woman, it does not make us less of a man. It makes us more of a man, that we can actually, how can I say, come into a manifestation or lower ourselves, and give the homage to the divine feminine. It makes us a divine masculine to give reverence to our woman. Moors ain't hearing me. Or you want to be by yourself. You got to be crazy. Or you want somebody to treat your daughter the way we're treating our women now that we came from out of that shallow grave, now that we know that. Do we want somebody to be treating our daughters the way we were treated, some women in our lower selves? Or are we going to use our life to correct these and to show our young boys like this ain't what this is about? We love on our women. We love on our single moms. I keep telling y'all, no disrespect to nobody. And people can, like I said, a lot of times, yes, we got to cry to correct ourselves, but we going to correct us and we going to walk out the door in love. Tell Morris, a lot of times our empresses, especially when they have boys and girls and they don't have no real man in their life, they love their sons and raise their daughters. And that's just what it is. Because a lot of the boys, all they know is sports. And the girls know everything. And they don't know really what's going on in these boys' life. And when those things don't work, we have a problem. Why? Because us, as Morris men, we done messed up. We ain't covered them. We ain't fulfilled that role. Why? Because all we want is some sex. I hope we following this. We got to rise above this. Somebody talk to me, man. Somebody talk to me. And I tell you, our woman is not protected. So without the presence of our empresses in our life, we will have no world. And today, our empresses is not protected or respected in the terms of being uplifted and protected, especially our Moorish women. That's why I tell Moors when I see my empresses, I'm like, don't you know our empresses is a very distinct creation of the great God Allah, and also a very distinct creator of man, from her genetics all the way up to her nature? How you think we gonna be? How you think men you got here? Oh, we done created ourselves with that false science? Or we like a woman came from a man rib? Are you really that crazy? You don't really understand what this life is about, what the real Trinity is? You don't understand that the woman sits on the throne with us. The Trinity is man, woman, creating life. You don't understand that's what immaculate conception really consists of? You done fell for the trick bag? See, when we understand the woman, it's like wisdom, Morris. And she has a radiation of knowledge from her head to her toe. And if we can understand the wisdom in her universe, we don't figure something out. We have to understand that the woman is the wisdom of this earth plane. Moorish men, we can look at her and see the beauty of her wisdom physically. All you want. That's what I tell Moors, how can you get inside a woman without getting inside of her? Do you know how to do that? And I always ask a young man how. They be like, whoa, how? And I said, we have to talk about that. Don't you want to know how? Absolutely. Come to these teachings and that be the opportunity. It's a spark. That's how I teach. Then the kids love civics. Then the kids love math. Then the kids love language. And then they be like, where you at? Why you ain't teaching in my schools? Because you're going to be a part of my school. You're going to go get that general education, but you're going to be a part of my school. And when you go back to those schooling, they're going to see the noble in you. They're going to see the education and the stewardness in months, in 6 months, how your life begins to turn. I promise you this. I promise you this, because the teachings do this. If you playing basketball, you an athlete, you're going to be a better athlete. Why? Because you're going to be so honorable. You're going to be so proud. You're going to understand this gift that the great God Allah has manifested you with. You're going to love on you so much. It ain't just about sports. It's about what? You're using this as a tool in your toolbox to do something great. Y'all ain't listening to me. Y'all ain't listening to me. We can see all that good stuff in her. But you got to understand that wisdom. Only then will you be able to understand her importance. A man can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't understand the knowledge that we have, then we are lost in this world that we get it from. Just like I tell you, we get everything from the womb. Be an idiot and you busting your woman head while that child is in the womb. How you think that baby gonna come out? Timid and shy. Get high and drunk with that baby in the womb. See what's going to happen when that baby come out the womb. That baby going to be addicted to everything that you had. Eat that nasty KFC and all that stuff. Your baby going to come out with all the foodborne diseases you have. Why? Because whatever in the womb, whatever it comes in, comes out. You teach them false teachers at home and hate, that's what your baby's going to know. They might not understand it, but that's what they're going to know and promulgate. Why? Because it's coming from within. I'm telling you, man, this is deep. This is all mental. We got to rise above, baby. Somebody talk to me. Somebody say Islam. Somebody say Shalom Aleichem. Somebody say Assalamu Alaikum. Somebody say peace be with you. Somebody give me something. Talk to me. You want to give a donation? Cash App, $ KG Bay. Come on. How do you understand the woman? It's things in the universe that keeps the universe afloat and balanced. These three things are the sun, which is the heart, the moon, which is the mind, and the stars, which is what? Our woman's feelings. I told you our part 2 going to be amazing. We just getting started. The woman has very distinct moral values apart from any other being in this world that radiates beautifully, internally, which brings about eternal sunshine of respect. And she is more adept to bring this about whenever her heart is in a state of balance and peace. When I be telling Morris, hey, I'll give my Empress right now $20, and I bet you she ain't gonna go to no Burger King and bring me no Burger King back. She gonna come with some beans, some rice, some tomatoes, some good stuff, some water with some lemons, some cucumbers, and make a meal. Y'all don't hear me? Y'all ain't hearing me, man. Whatever you feed something, whatever you give something, that's what you're gonna get back. If you give things love, if you put love in the atmosphere, love gonna come back. But love don't mean you're gonna be disrespected. Don't get it twiggity, twisted. But the woman is a universe, and she has a heart, which is like the sun, right? Because whatever she touches from that part of herself, if she is imbalanced and protected, she will bring about a civilization, which are the planets that will revolve around her with a cycle of respect that us men, that we plant in her to create that civilization. Oh, y'all don't hear me, man. Man, I got chills when I speak of this, man. When I speak like this to myself, these teachings are for me, because these teachings correct myself. Y'all don't hear me, man. We must correct ourselves first. How can we be talking to somebody else and I ain't correcting myself in my home first? You got to be tripping. My family here with me, the ones I love. The most importantly, you must pay attention to her mind, which is the moon, which is her moon. Why is the moon, you say, Brother Bay? Because the moon is what moves the waters, and the waters represent life and knowledge. Her mind is what creates the mind state in the life that is within her own bosom. So whatever knowledge she obtains goes into the fetus as it grows. Her mind is like the moon that moves the knowledge into the life, which is inside of herself. So we got to stop right here, man. If we can get to part 2, we're going to finish part 2. And then we're going to go jump into the Holy of Holies. And we done for Sunday ministry. Log back on. Get your waters and get your pens. Islam.
That have been an hour?
Mm-hmm.